How's it going, ladies and gents? This is Darzer here, and today I just wanted to bring you guys a video to show you my route for goblin farming in Diablo 3. To those of you who don't actually know, in patch 2.4.1 Blizzard added a new goblin called the Menagerist Goblin. Now this is a very interesting goblin because when killed it has a 100% chance to drop a cosmetic pet, one of 19 actually. And it will always drop whichever one of the pets that you don't actually currently own. So as you can see here, I'll show you. I've actually gotten a lot of them myself. I don't have all 19, but I think I got 14 or so of the 19 that I can get. And look at them. They're fucking incredible, aren't they? Look at this bad boy. I got him today. So basically, yeah, the Menagerist Goblin will drop cosmetic pets. They don't do anything. They're just purely cosmetic, but they are fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. And on top of that, the Rainbow Goblin. He was actually in the game last season, but something's changed now. What happens is, he opens the portal to Whimsydale, which is not Whimsyshire. They are two different zones. Try not to get confused between them. And in Whimsydale, there is a small chance for a rare mob to spawn called Princess Lillian, which is some big fucking pony, multicolored pony, right? And she's super rare, and it's obviously rare to get the Rainbow Goblin on top of that. So it's extremely rare for both to happen at the same time. But if you get lucky, and they do happen, she has a 100% chance to drop Cosmic Wings, which I sadly don't actually have yet, but I have been farming really heavily for it, and I know I'll fucking get it someday, man. But they are beautiful wings. They're basically butterfly wings with these neon colors, and they look incredible. And that's pretty much what I'm about. So that's what I'm focusing on basically. So this video here, before I jump into it, I just want to say one more thing. If you're looking around YouTube for goblin farming routes, you'll find a lot of the videos are showing you somebody basically clearing 5 to 6, maybe 7 zones and then remaking. If that's what you're interested in, I'm sorry, but this video is not for you, because I like to do a very large route, and I'll explain why. There's 2 reasons. The first reason is I find that if I'm repeating 5 or 6 zones over and over and over again, that it gets extremely boring extremely quickly. And even though goblin farming is not supposed to be fun and interesting, it could certainly be a bit more fun and interesting than just repeating the same 5-6 maps over and over again. And basically the second reason is that I don't have the best PC in the world. While it's not the worst either, it certainly isn't the top of the range PCs like some people have. And what that means is recreating a game takes anywhere between, I guess, 30 to 40 seconds for me. So I'm losing out on 30 to 40 seconds that could be spent farming a goblin, which after an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, it adds up to a lot of minutes. So yeah, those are basically the 2 reasons. So I'll be doing about 15 to 20 zones or so, and I'm going to show you the route that I take right now. So let's jump into it. First things first, I go to Act 1, and I want to start on the Weeping Hollow. Now, the Weeping Hollow is a fairly large zone, so I don't check it all, but there is a spawn just around the waypoint. So I like to do a little circle just here. Just check around here. If I don't see a goblin, that's fine. I'll just move on back to the waypoint, and I'll go to the Northern Highlands. Now, the Northern Highlands is actually split into 2 spots. There is the southern spot, which I'm in right now, which is a fairly small square, so I like to check it. And then to the northeast, there's actually the Leoric hunting grounds. Now, these are both considered 2 different zones, so it's actually possible to find a goblin in both of these zones. So to anyone who normally moves on from a zone after finding a goblin, certainly make sure you check both of these zones. So this is the path I like to take. I'll go up the step, and as you can see, got a little blood thief here. Give me down, bad boys. So, because I found a goblin here, I'll generally just move on. I would normally check this zone out entirely, but I'll run up to the waypoint here. And what I like to do is go to the Southern Highlands. Now, the Southern Highlands is a fairly large zone, so I don't spend too much time checking it out. What I really do is look for the Cave of the Moon Clan. As soon as I find it, I'll go into it. And that's basically, you can get a goblin to spawn in here, but like I said, it's a really big zone. So there we go, Cave of the Moon Clan. Now I love the cave zones that have 2 levels. It's because both levels can spawn a goblin, and both are generally fairly small. So I feel like I get goblins in here maybe 50 to 60% of the time. Basically just want to run around, look for level 2 while keeping an eye out for goblins. Okay, no goblin in level 1, we're on level 2 now. Oh, there's a gelatinous goblin. can always tell the gelatinous ones by the sounds they make. Lovely, look at that. Right, so from here, Southern Highlands, what I like to do next is I go to Leoric's Passage. So I teleport to the old ruins to get here. So from the old ruins waypoint, I will run up to the northeast and down this way here. I feel like the Leoric's Passage has a really high chance to spawn goblins, so certainly check this out. Let's just check down the stairs around here and up here. If there's none, I go into the Cathedral Level 1 and I will just run through the zone for a bit until I find either Cathedral Level 2 or a goblin, basically. So just keep running through. Here's the waypoint. I hear a goblin. It's only a shitty gem hoarder. QQ. So I'll ignore him and then I'll go to the Royal Crypts. So TP to the Royal Crypts. I'll check it out. There's a pretty good spawn chance for a goblin in the Royal Crypts as well. It could just be that I'm extremely lucky here. I'm not sure. But yeah, there we go. Let's see a treasure goblin. So from there, what I like to do next is I go to the Cemetery of the Forsaken and I go into the Defiled Crypt. So it's usually going to spawn off of one of these. Here we go. Defiled Crypt, and I'll run through this zone real quick. And as you can see, we got a goblin pretty quickly. Nice. It's a shitty treasure goblin. I'm just going to ignore this motherfucker. From here, Halls of Agony level 3. And I'll just scale through the zone. Oh, another goblin. Okay, we're getting some lucky goblin spawns. I'll actually kill this one because it gives me some good mats. Now, after our Halls of Agony level 3, I want to go to the Caverns of Araneae. This is actually going to be the final zone in Act 1. And it's a fairly large zone, so if you don't have a really fast moving character for your goblin farming, I would suggest maybe skipping this zone. Or actually I would suggest just getting a fast moving character. This is always going to be a goblin. Now what I don't know is if it's always going to be a treasure goblin. In my experience it has always been a treasure goblin. Oh my god, look at my fucking gargantuans being assholes. There we go. Right. From here, then, I go to Act 2, and what I start off with is the Ancient Waterway up in the top left here. Wait, that's not it. I TP'd to it anyway, whatever, I showed you guys. And there are two channels that I like to check. There's the Western channel here and the Eastern channel, so just select one. And as I mentioned earlier, the cave levels, I feel like have a really good spawn chance of goblins on both maps. So I run through, I'm essentially just clearing out the cave level 1. As soon as I find cave level 2, I just go into it. I don't waste time scouting out the entire cave before I go on to the next map. Literally, as soon as I find level 2, just go straight into it. Going around here. Cave level 2, no goblin. The level 2 maps are like far shorter in size. I guess smaller in size, not shorter. And they also have the resplendent chests, so if you're farming on your own and you don't really care about efficiency, this is also a really good way to, I guess, get resplendent chests, and also plenty of rare packs to be found. Go back to the Ancient Waterway now, and I'll go into the Eastern channel this time. Same thing again, I'm just going to run through the two maps. As soon as I find level 2, I'm just going to go straight into it. Okay, it seems I went every fucking way except the correct way. No worries. Okay, it is a blood goblin. Now level 2. And we got another goblin, Gem Hoarder. I'm just going to skip him. And next up on the list then, I go to the Archives of Zoltun Kulle. And from here there are... Okay, I guess you guys want to kill me. From here, there are 2 zones we can check. There are the Storm Halls and the Unknown Depths. So let's go to the Unknown Depths first, which is up here to the left. And I like these zones because most of it is essentially just a straight line. There is some branching off to the sides, but for the most part you're pretty much just running in one single straight line. You got a goblin, collector goblin. Nice, getting a lot of luck right now. So back to the Archives of Zoltun Kulle again. And this time I'm going to go to the Storm Halls, which is just here to the right. Now, similar thing, pretty much a straight line. Fairly quick to get through the map. Looks like we're at the end of the map now, no goblins so far. Okay, so no goblin in here. Not to worry. Next up, we're going to go to Act 3. And I'm starting off on the Core of Arreat. Now, the Core of Arreat, similar to the ones we just did in the Storm Halls and the Unknown Depths, is essentially just one single path, you know, running in essentially just one straight line. There's not a lot of different ways that you can go. So it's pretty straightforward. And as you can see, we got a goblin already, so I'll move on to the next zone, which is going to be the Tower of the Cursed level 1. We're actually going to check level 1 and level 2 for both Tower of the Cursed and Tower of the Damned. And this is one of my favourite spots because you can't really go wrong. You pretty much just run around in a circle and you're going to uncover the entire map. So it's pretty hard to miss a goblin and it's pretty hard to go the wrong way. So you pretty much just run around in a circle here, down the steps, and into level 2. And then same thing again in level 2. Pretty much running around the circle. And once we get to the end of the map then I will TP to the next zone, which will be Tower of the Damned level 1. Right, no goblin here. So, Tower of the Damned level 1. And my chicken farm is going to break my TP. What I like to do when I get here is I like to go left rather than right. I guess it doesn't really make much of a difference, but it's a little bit more efficient in that I can get to the next zone a bit quicker. I guess it's just something for you guys to keep in mind. Because generally I just come here and I'll just go straight down the steps. Doesn't really make a very large difference. Again, to those of you who want to be a little bit more efficient, I guess that's the best way to go about it. Okay, so I'll just run around here until I get to the steps. Doesn't look like we've got a goblin, so what I'm going to do now is teleport to Rakkis Crossing, which is, I believe it's the zone on the way to Azmodan, if I remember correctly, and it's essentially, again, just one straight line. You can't really go wrong. Pretty much just run directly towards the boss as if you were trying to get to him and kill him. And if there are any goblins, you're bound to run into it along the way. As I mentioned earlier, if you're, for whatever reason, doing the goblin farming as I am right now, without having a faster, I guess a fast farming spec, I would highly suggest you put together a spec for your class that can farm efficiently. If your class isn't the fastest farmer, you should probably consider creating a class that can farm efficiently, like Witch Doctor, you got your Wizards, Crusader, the horse build. You know, most of the classes can pretty much farm effectively. Finally, now we're gonna go to the Keeps level 3, and this is gonna be the last spot we check before we remake our game. So what I like to do when I get in here is I just stick to one side and I clear it all out first. So I'll stick to the left, then I'll go up the center. I'll pretty much just keep to the left the entire way. Yeah, looks like we didn't get any goblin here. Yeah, so that covers about it, guys. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any recommendations for any, I guess, future videos or anything like that, just let me know. And yeah, hopefully it helps, and good luck on your farming with your goblins. I hope that you find plenty of rainbow goblins and get them sexy ass cosmic wings. But that's it for me. Take care and goodbye.